I just thought it was normal not to be able to remember big chunks of your life. I'd done a talk for Sports Aid, and they started questioning me about the World Cup, and I was just like, well, to be honest, I just don't remember anything. And they said, oh, what do you mean? Like, what minute do you not remember? And what do you? And I said, no, I just don't remember being in Australia. I just can't, I thought that was normal. And the crowd sort of went quiet, and no one sort of questioned me about it. Suddenly, when you start looking back, I start trying to remember, and it's like I said, most of my 20s just aren't there at all. I sort of what came in and out of, I've got a problem, to no, I'm absolutely fine, and denial in, and I'm only early 40s, there can't be anything wrong, and it wasn't then, and I started going through the test process that, and the one time when it really sunk in the first time, really, like for me to take on board, was I was doing these tests, these sort of brain tests with a doctor, and she gives you 20 words to remember, and you have to repeat. Once she finishes, you have to repeat them. And I scored 4, and then you go off and do other brain game type things, and you go back, and she repeats the same 20 words, and then you have to like try and do them again. And I scored 4 again. So suddenly, and it just kept happening like that. And I can remember I broke down crying because it hit me, and I just kept apologizing to her because I was like, I'm so sorry. And it hit me that, I'm in trouble here. Like, I think I might actually have what they're saying. My wife said, oh, it's really weird. It's as if he's got dementia, but I know he hasn't, because he's too young to, and of course the doctor at the time couldn't say anything. And it wasn't until, a few months later, we got the full diagnosis. And, it's one of them moments where my wife was like, I told you. And it's like, all right. So, it sounds, but, we get through it with a bit of like dark humor and things like that. And, you've once you sort of got dealt it, and, I licked my wounds for a while at first, just trying to understand it. Because I didn't, when they say early onset dementia, it's like, oh, have I only got it a little bit? And suddenly they're like, no, you've got it quite bad. It just means that you're under 60 really, and you're young. And then suddenly you start looking into it, just how many people have got it really. And like I said, with the rugby lads, there was 3 of us at first, then there was 7. Now there's just under 300 that have been diagnosed. So you look at it, you just, it's a massive problem. I can't do 2 busy days in a row and things. And suddenly, because, I'm just fatigued, my memory goes, trying to talk to people, and my speech can just go. And so I'm having to sort of rest constantly. And like you said, in my mind, the problem is because I'm still fit, I train, keep myself in good shape, because that's what they say, you've got to do as well. But it's that balancing act of being able to be the best I can for my kids and that, trying to do work I can do. But then also, if you wear yourself out, I fall apart. So it's, it's quite a hard thing to do. And so I've got 4 kids under 10 now, and, having to manage them as well, bless them, and they understand it now, which, in my mind, they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to go through something like this with someone so young. And my big thing is, when they're older, I want my kids to come and see me, not have to come and see me. So that's why we're trying to fight and understand, what is actually going on with me and others, so we can just try and get the best for other people. I've had my life now. That's the way I look at it. I just want to try and make myself the best for my kids.